Hi everyone, hi every spirit, Daria here. Thank you so much for being here. Today is Venus Day. Happy Venus in Pisces to each and every one of you. Make sure not to go too far, too overextended into what you love, into what you might appreciate right now, into the relationships that you might be focusing on right now, or the aspects of your relationship that you might be focusing right now, because Venus exalted in Pisces, meaning that we might go overindulging into things that we don't need, or that might be too la la land, too out there, too much not what you have right now in the present. So make sure not to go too much into the Pisces energy with Venus, and make sure to get a bit of that Virgo energy going, so you can practicalize more, so you can have that creativity in your relationship, so you can have that easygoing relationship, but with that work on the background, with that balancing aspect, so you can balance this exaltation of Venus with a little bit more of that Mercury energy, with that Virgo being more practical, being more structured, and not go too far la la land. So make sure to balance a bit of that Venus energy right now. And happy full moon to each and every one of you. Happy full moon in Libra. The moon right now is at 6 degrees as I'm filming this, so by the moon being in Libra right now, we are going to be reacting and responding to our relationships. We are going to be relating, or we are going to be reacting and responding to the way we relate, and how we create new ways to think and communicate. So that is the full moon energy we will be having, as the sun is opposing the moon 180 degrees, coming to 180 degrees tomorrow, and this will be a full opposition, and the sun is in Aries. We are paying attention to our own way to think, to create new imaginations, feelings. We are going to be paying attention to our motivation, our internal motivation and fire, passion, aggression, motivation. So this is a full moon scenario, meaning that we can balance the way we express ourselves with the way we receive, and we react and respond, or we may feel opposite and react and respond to our actions in an opposite way, or react and respond to our actions and expressions in a balancing way, in a contributing way, in a way that we can balance our expressions, so we don't go so overboard, because the sun is exalted in Aries, and you already know that these exaltations, especially as I was talking about Venus right now, by the sun being in Aries, we need to balance more, and this is an opportunity for us to bring that balance in with the moon, by us reacting and responding to our relationships. Make sure not to overreact and respond to our relationships, because the moon is in conjuncting Venus, and this might be by us reacting and responding by default to our relationships and how we relate, and right now communicate, how we relate with others, our own and others' emotions and feelings, might be a misunderstanding by default. So make sure not to go over extreme with reacting and responding to your relationships in general, but that's something that we are going to all be experiencing right now. So don't overextend, don't go too much too far ahead, don't overexpress, and just make sure to stay on your own creativity, your imaginations, and relax if you need to with the people, places, and things that you feel that you can relate, that you have a relationship with, that you have a spiritual ship with someone that you are able to have a closer connection with, right? And the Mercury right now is also in conjuncting the moon, but on the other side in the Taurus. So by Mercury being in Taurus, we are thinking and communicating in a more practical, in a more stable way to be practical, in a more fixed way to be practical. So we are more practical right now, and we can use this practicality energy, but right now make sure not to react too much to the way you think and communicate, to the way others think and communicate, because that is a misunderstanding by default as well. So make sure not to go into any of those energies too much. go more into the Aries energy if you want to balance this, if you want to balance what you are reacting and responding to, and as well go into this Libra energy if you want to balance out how you are expressing yourself, how you are creating, and how you pay attention to the ways you create, to how you create new ideas, new imaginations, new ways to wait, I lost my point. Was I talking about the moon? Was I talking about the sun? Basically, the sun and the moon are on opposite sides, meaning that we are able to bring balance towards our reactions and responses, and how we act and how we create, how we express ourselves in the world. Okay, and yeah, Neptune and Jupiter are also conjuncting each other, so this is also a misunderstanding between the moon and a fatal attraction. So and a fatal attraction between the sun. But first of all, in conjunction between the moon and the Jupiter and Neptune, make sure not to overreact to the ways you gain wisdom and knowledge, to the ways other people gain wisdom and knowledge, and others' imaginations, your dreams, illusions, creativity, aka Neptune, and the ways we create wisdom, knowledge, how we gain wisdom and knowledge, and how we create broader philosophical points of view, aka Jupiter. So make sure not to go far, don't overreact into those areas, because right now it is a misunderstanding by default. And Pluto is also squaring the sun and the moon, so this is a learning process for us to, by this being a square, this is a learning opportunity between cardinal signs. So this is an opportunity or a learning process for us to take power and control over our expression and our own way to react and respond to things. So this is the time, on this full moon specifically, is the time for us to take power and control over the way we communicate, on the way how we express ourselves and how we react and respond. So basically we at this time need to be taking more power and control over that, destroying whatever doesn't make sense for us, whatever does not make, because by Pluto being in Capricorn, this is by default us creating new ways to be practical, be more stable, make more sense, and take power and control over that, take power and control over what makes sense right now. And by this being a square between the moon and the sun, we are going to have this learning opportunity, learning process. So make sure you are taking power and control over your things, instead of letting Pluto take power and control over whatever you think you are expressing and feeling, because in the end of the day, if you are not transforming it, if you are not participating in that, it might be taken from you real quick, just because you were taking it for granted. Okay, so that is the energies for the full moon, and where you have the full moon will be the area of life where you will be reacting and responding to your relationships. That is the area of life where you have more of that relationship energy. So for instance, if you have Libra in your first house, you are going to be reacting and responding to your own way to create ideas, to create new ways to make sense, to be to communicate, to think, to analyze, to be cardinal on your way to think and communicate. And though that is the area where you will be having your so by being for example in the first house, Libra in the first house means that you are going to be creating new ways for you to, or not creating, but reacting, responding to the ways you create and initiate relationships, initiate and are personally invested into relationships, because by you having the Libra in your first house means that you might evolve relationships into your personal life, be more personal about how you go about your relationships. Take more personally this new moon, take a full moon, take more personally these energies of creating balance and relationship. Be more personal about it. For example, if you have the full moon in your fourth house, for example, fourth house Libra, meaning that you are going to be paying more attention and be more relatable, and not paying attention, reacting. You are going to be reacting and responding to your fourth house, to what makes you feel comfortable, to what makes you feel safe, and react and respond to the people, places, and things that are familiar to you and that you can relate with. So that is Libra in the fourth house, and the full moon in Libra in the fourth house. So that is the energies that you will be experiencing. Depending on the house you have Libra in, will be the area of life where you will be applying your where you will be manifesting that energy in, that those manifestations, those seeds you have planted will be focused on that area, because Libra, where you have Libra in your chart, is the area where you like to be more relatable in. That is the area of life where you like to be more balancing in and create new ways for you to make sense, for you to think and communicate. Okay, so by this being a full moon, full cup means that we are already fulfilled the cup. So the cup is already full. Some of you may you thought you were putting some good ass water into the wine and you have Coca-Cola there, or the other way around, things like that. So make sure, not if you don't receive what you were expecting to receive, remember that's what you deserve. So this is the time for us to reflect, for us to make sure that we can balance our actions and reactions in a sufficient way, so we don't die, so we don't transform too much, because full moons are notorious for huge things going on, war, criminosities, things that should not go so far, but certain spirits just feel like they need to overextend their foot, and usually that's when it's on the full moons that tragic scenarios like that happen. So make sure to don't go too far into expressing about your relationships or how you feel about your relationships. Also make sure not to overreact about how you act. So you don't need to go too far onto no form of energy that does not benefit you right now. The cup is already full. Just be open to receive and stay protected, because the full moon in general and by default is a time where the sun, where the moon is exactly on the opposite, as far as it can go from the sun as it can be. So this is a time for us to be more retrieved, for us to receive, for us to reflect, for us to stay protected, and for us to see what we manifest and be able to take accountability for that, as well as clean whatever does not make sense or whatever does not contribute to our spirituality, for our spiritual path, and get all of that sorted as the moon starts to wane and go into the new moon. So releasing part. Right now we are collecting all those fruits that we bared, and make sure to once again don't go too far into no full moon scenarios, and you will be all right. Okay, so I took a few cards as for today. So we have, as for today and this full moon, this is basically the energies that we all may be privy to. So the first one was 3 of Wands, meaning that in our surroundings we are going to be receiving or seeing some form of imagination, some form of creativity, or we may be expressing to our surroundings. But in general, this is us having this in our surroundings, having this passion in our surroundings, seeing other people, being surrounded by passion, by this creativity, by all sorts of creativities, because this full moon is a lot of things boiling up, a lot of things going on. So that is the first card. The second card is the Emperor, meaning that we are going to be expressive. We have this energy available to us to be expressive, to be a bit, not too much, a bit in your ego. That's more Leo, but right now, by the sun being exalted in Aries, this energy is available for all of us. So this can be an extreme passionate time. It can be very aggressive. It can be very passionate. We can be very passionate, or we can see others very passionate in our surroundings, because this also relates to that fire. So we may see this in our surroundings and be passionate about that, or we may go to extreme. Just because we see this in our surroundings, we want to act out. Make sure not to go too far into that. And the third card is Queen of Swords, meaning that we are going to be receiving grand support, Queen, from an idea, from a way to think and communicate. So that's something that we also need to be aware of, not to justify too much why you are being so passionate, but also be open to receive and be able to see this passion and aggression from a clear perspective, from a more analytical perspective, so you can point out all the dots and see what is what. And don't go too overboard into this Aries energy. That is a general energy that we all can use right now, or we can observe and just be aware of, you know. By us being aware of this energy, the more we can be a step ahead. But in general, you already know the energies in the sky as I broke them down. Don't go too overextended on anything right now. Stay on your lane, do your own creative endeavors, but don't be manipulated, or don't get too overexcited just because you have so much fire in your surroundings, okay? So let's see from the Dragon Oracle card, which I will take right now, what is the higher frequency and vibration we all can use right now for us to actually go about this energy in the right way. If we need to protect ourselves, we protect ourselves. If we need to balance something out, we balance something out. So let's see what is the higher frequency and vibration we all need to be in to utilize this passionate energy, if we are going to be utilizing, and to receive this grand support, if we this grand fixed air support, this grand air support, this grand support from an idea or from a way to think and communicate. If we are going to be utilizing those energies, what is the best higher frequency, more expanded frequency and vibration we all can use right now for a benefit, for this full moon, for us to stay protected, for us to stay safe with our relationships, in our relationships, in the things that make us feel connected to someone or something. That makes sense. Because what is a dragon? A dragon is a higher form, or a more expanded, or is the most expanded form in any realm of reality. You can call it a dragon because it is the most experienced spirit in that area, or is the most wider spirit in that world, in that area. So we want to see what is the higher frequency and vibration that we all need to be in to use these circumstances, situation, things of the world in our benefit, in our best ways, so we don't get overwhelmed by anything, because that is what in this full moon we need to be aware of. We don't need to get overwhelmed by nothing. We need to just receive, relax, and chill, smoke a blunt, and drink a tea. Okay, that's it. Royal Blue and Gold Dragon strengthens you to stand in your power and wisdom. Okay, so this is a very Jupiterian type of dragon, but it is holding like a sword, so this is great for us to express in a deep way our creativity, our expression of our individuality, our imaginations, because this royal blue, as you can see, it's a very deep and very saturated blue. It is a type of form that we can use, that we can be in, expressing ourselves and be able to express our deep feelings, as well as communicate in a deep way about our creativity. Depending on how you want to see it, that's how I see it. It is a very beautiful contrast between those yellows, oranges, and blues, with which you can bring light your feelings and make them lighter, make yourself lighter, and have the sword, have the little veil that helps you stay clean, lets you stay clean from anything that you may be slashing or communicating. Okay, so communicate in a deep way your creativity, communicate in a deep way your expression, your imaginations, your passion, your uniqueness, your individuality. That is the yellow, that is those golds, which can help you, can help everyone use this energy in a better way, so we can be passionate if we are going to be going for our passions and receiving this grand support from an idea, a way to communicate your individuality, communicate your creativity, your passion, communicate your own way to create and see the world. Okay, beautiful dragon, really love it. And yeah, stay in your power, stay in your wisdom, always create the best circumstances and situations for you. Choose the best circumstances and situations for you, and remember not to be afraid to experience anything, because the more you experience, the more you can learn. So make sure to learn with each and every experience, so you don't have to go through the same experience twice or thrice. Okay, so that's the energies for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you have an amazing Venus day, an amazing full moon. Tomorrow will be full, so during this week we are going to be experiencing this full moon scenario in whatever area we have Aries and Libra in, so make sure to bring that little balance, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to my soul group, shout out to beautiful esoteric cloud surfer. There is his link tree down below in my description, as well as my link tree, so you can see all the art I create, all the things I do. I also have my Twitch down there, I also stream. So this will be very fun. I wish you have an amazing day. I wish you stay protected in this full moon, and yeah, choose wisely your relationships, choose wisely to whom you want to express yourself, and with whom you cannot be yourself, don't hang around. Okay, be yourself, and that is a relationship, when you can be your goddamn self. And I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Daria, surfing out. Bye.